25 of the fantasy baseball season. And if you come this far in your playoffs or you're right at top of your standings in rotisserie leagues, here's a few hitters I've looked to add here in the final week, most likely for most fantasy leagues. The first guy's Jared Kelenic of the Seattle Mariners. Kelenic, it's been a struggle all season for him. Is Kelenic, one of the top prospects in all of Major League Baseball, traded from the New York Mets to the Mariners for Robbie Cano and Diaz a few seasons ago. On the season for Kelenic, 13 home runs, 38 RBIs, 34 runs scored, 5 stolen bases, a 178 average, and a 258 on base. So right there, overall, the numbers have been horrible this season. But the last couple weeks here, he's played up to potential. Is Kelenic, 5 homers, 12 RBIs, a stolen base, 10 runs scored, a 310 average, and a 396 on base. So right now, he's tearing the cover off the ball. He's going out there, and he's really getting the job done right here for the Mariners and fantasy owners who have added him. The last couple games here for Kelenic: September 13th versus Boston, 0-for-4. September 14th versus Boston, 0-for-4. September 15th versus Boston, 2-for-4 with 2 runs. September 17th at the Royals, 2-for-4, 2 homers, 4 RBI. September 18th at the Royals, 0-for-1. And September 19th at Kansas City, 3-for-4 with a homer, 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored. So right here, he's playing good baseball. He's showing the power. He's showing the potential. And he's available right now in 61% of fantasy leagues. The next hitter is Lane Thomas of the Washington Nationals. So the last 3 weeks now, I've talked this Thomas as a good fantasy baseball lad. And he's been a good hitter for this national team here since they traded for him in the John Lester deal from St. Louis. So on the season for Thomas, 5 homers, 23 RBIs, 25 runs scored, 4 stolen bases, a 243 average, and a 348 on base. The last couple weeks here for Thomas: 2 homers, 12 RBIs, 11 runs scored, 259 average, and a 365 on base. So right now, he's the table setter for this Washington team. He's scoring some runs. He's showing some power. And the last few games, he's been impressive. September 13th versus Miami, 0-for-4. September 14th versus Miami, 2-for-4, 2 runs, and an RBI. September 15th versus Miami, 2-for-5, a run, 2 RBI. September 17th versus the Rockies, 2-for-5, a homer, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored. September 18th versus the Rockies, 1-for-4. And September 19th versus Colorado, 0-for-4. So right here, I think he's a decent ad. He's got good matchups at Miami and Cincinnati this week, and he could definitely get on base. He's definitely showing power, and he's worth an ad this week. The next hitter is Gavin Lux of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So Gavin Lux, he qualifies at second, short, and outfield for fantasy baseball. Great versatility for the former top prospect in the Dodgers system. On the season, 7 home runs, 45 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 45 runs scored, a 239 average, and a 323 on base. So those numbers, obviously, they're nothing this season. But the last couple weeks here, Lux has definitely stepped up and played a good role here for the Dodgers. 1 homer, 8 RBI, 6 runs scored, a whopping 458 average, and a 552 on base. So right here, he's definitely getting the job done. He's contributing in a big way for fantasy owners and the Dodgers, and his versatility is a big thing as well, in my opinion. The last few games for him: September 13th versus the Diamondbacks, 1-for-3 with a run. September 14th versus Arizona, 0-for-4. September 15th versus Arizona, 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs. September 18th at Cincinnati, 1-for-3, 2 RBIs and a run. And September 19th at Cincinnati, 3-for-4, a homer, 3 RBIs. So right here, Lux is going out there. He's contributing finally to what the Dodgers thought he could do in the last few weeks. And he's definitely worth an ad, available in 71% of fantasy leagues. The next hitter I looked at this week's Austin Hayes of the Baltimore Orioles. So Austin Hayes, another guy like Lane Thomas that I've been talking up on these waiver wire videos over the last 2 or 3 weeks. On the season, 21 homers, 67 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, 67 runs scored, a 254 average, and a 301 on base. So right there, very solid, productive numbers. And the last couple weeks here, 275 average, 327 on base, 6 homers, 16 RBIs, 8 runs scored, and a stolen base. So Austin Hayes, he's going out there. He's showing some power. He's driving in runs, and he's bumped up that batting average pretty decently over the last few weeks. So the last couple games for Hayes: September 14th versus the Yankees, 0-for-2. September 15th versus the Yankees, 2-for-4, 2 homers, 3 RBIs. September 16th versus the Yankees, 1 for 5 with a rib. September 17th at Boston, 1 for 4, a homer and an RBI. September 18th at Boston, 1 for 3. September 19th at Boston, 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a stolen base. So Austin Hayes, he's gone out there. He's definitely getting the job done for this Baltimore team. And he's available right now, still in 69% of fantasy leagues. So if you need an outfielder or some power at the utility position, he's definitely a good add and a guy who can help you win this week. And the fifth and final hitter, I've looked at this week's Eddie Rosario of the Atlanta Braves. So Eddie Rosario hit for the cycle in yesterday's ball game at the San Francisco Giants. And this guy, I said when the Braves traded for him, it was a key pickup in my opinion, and an underrated pickup. So off injury the last couple weeks is Rosario, and he's playing pretty well on the season. 12 home runs, 57 RBIs, 10 stolen bases, 36 runs scored, a 264 average, and a 308 on base in the last couple weeks for him. 4 homers, 6 RBIs, 5 runs scored, 345 average, and a 406 on base. So he's going out there. He's getting the job done. He's showing power for this Brave team. He hit for the cycle, obviously, and you can't go wrong. He's playing pretty much every day here in that outfield, where the Braves definitely needed outfield help after the injury to Ronald Acuna. So the last few games, September 14th versus the Rockies, 0 for 3. September 15th versus the Rockies, 2 for 3, a homer, 2 RBI. September 17th at the Giants, 1 for 5. September 18th at the Giants, 1 for 2. And September 19th at the Giants, like I mentioned, 4 for 4 with the cycle, a homer, an RBI, and a run. So Rosario, he's getting the job done. He's hitting good, and he's leading the Braves to a pennant race victory in the NL East here with the last couple weeks left in the regular season. So that's a few hitters I would look to add this week in week 25 of the fantasy baseball season.